Okay, so we're going
Hello,
live now.
hello, YouTube and Facebook. We're just getting connected here on um, Instagram. Give us a minute. Refreshing. There we go.
Hi guys.
Okay.
Good morning.
Here we
You're
go.
welcome to episode 2. Hi guys. Please confirm you can hear me. I'm going to attempt to add a guest today. Please confirm you can all hear me. Confirm you can all hear me.
Okay. Yes.
Fantastic. Can you hear me, Edith?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Fantastic. Good morning, Edith. It's great to have you here today. And for everyone else who is on the different platforms where you're watching episode 2 of our sustainability series, for those of you on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on as many platforms as possible, we welcome you wholeheartedly to episode 2 of our sustainability series. If you were
Yeah.
here last week, we went deep dive into what it means to have a sustainability mindset. And we
Yeah.
broke it down, into every single level possible. And
Yeah.
today, what we're addressing is your
Mm.
sustainable mission and vision. What we
Mhm.
want to achieve in these 4 weeks of this series is to take you step by step from understanding the mindset to drawing the vision. And then as we proceed, we will teach you how do you even get started. Because we're not just
Yeah.
here to share information with you. We want to hand you a possible blueprint with which you
Yeah.
can run with immediately to go
Yeah.
make your business compliant with what it means to be
Yeah.
sustainable, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
today I'm gonna let my friend say just a couple of things. My friend and sister Edith, all the way from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. Pardon me, in East Africa. I'll let you just say a couple of things, and then we'll go quickly into our episode for today. So yes, Edith.
I think what I'll say is this is that first of all, thank you for all the feedback, all of the thoughts that you've been sharing throughout the week from what you learned last week. I think this time really it's adding more, right? So last week we were setting a foundation. This week and next week, we're starting to build the pillars of this journey for you. And we're starting to prepare to propel you into sustainability. And throughout this conversation, by the way, and I think we forgot to say this last time, put your questions. If there's any question you have, I know we got so excited, me and and everyone, we just keep talking and talking. But if you have any question, put it into the comments or into the question space on Instagram. And I think that should allow for us to be able to respond to you immediately. So I'm very excited to get into this, guys. I know really, really God will take over. I know that there's a lot that He has to say on vision and
Yeah,
mission. I know there's a lot, and especially a sustainable one
yeah,
at that.
yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, I see. S. I think I'm trying to get her name, but I think that name is Kenyan. So Edith, you may need to help me with that name. She says she's ready. S. You know,
Let me scroll. The
I
comments are
have to
coming
get
so
that name.
quick. Everything is moving quickly.
Okay. Okay. So those who were here last week, I already see them saying, "Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready." So yeah, guys, we are also ready for you by the grace of God. And like she said, today seems like it's going to be a very anyway. Let's just let it go. So first,
Yeah.
one of the first things I want us to layer on today, or start with today, by way of setting the tone of the conversation is every time you hear the word mission statement, vision statement, and as an entrepreneur, you almost want to say that yes, I have a vision statement and I have a mission statement. But I
Yeah.
find that this particular terminologies it robs entrepreneurs of the true meaning of a vision. A vision is not just a statement. A vision is not just something that you have written down. Well, let it look like I have a vision statement and I have a mission statement for answer's sake. It robs us of the
Wow.
true meaning of a vision.
Wow.
The true meaning of a
Wow.
vision first is a pictorial representation of something that already exists.
Wow.
If you have this background, it will truly help you understand the meaning of a vision and how you can get
Wow.
sold into a vision for your business. A
Wow.
pictorial representation of something that already exists.
I
What
love it.
you just had is you had the opportunity to enter and see a sneak peek of what existed, and then you internalize it here on planet Earth. And this is
Yep.
why this definition is very important. We live in a world that, to a very large extent, whether you want to believe it or not, is run by God. It's created by God. The heavens, the earth, and everything, inclusive you. And that means every business idea you are running today, there's not one that you're able to think up by yourself. There's just not one.
Yeah.
It's an inspiration from God. And so it means that for something to catapult into your mind that you did
Yeah.
not think of yesterday, it existed somewhere. It was just transported into your own mind from a superior mind. And that's why I say a vision is a pictorial representation of something that exists. You, at the time you caught that idea, you caught that business, you caught that solution, it was that day, that period, you got invited to see the possibility of this thing. And that's when you caught it.
I
And
love
that's
it.
why a vision is something that you catch. It's not something that you just say as a statement.
Yeah.
Until you catch it, you can't internalize it. And if you can't internalize it, you can't be it, you can't do it, you can't transfer it, you
I
can't
love it.
live it to the extent where you can transfer it from one person to the other for as long as you
Wow.
live and even when you are gone. So yeah, I'm just going to say this. There are several definitions, but I want to start with this so that I can let my sister Edith say something.
Thing that Just is saying, because a lot of times when I spend time with entrepreneurs or with founders and we're talking about their vision, their mission, a lot of times it's something that they come up with, right? So they come up with something from their minds and they write it down. Or what they do is that they go and they look at their competitors and they align their vision or mission with what they're seeing other people doing. But I think one of the things that we really need to understand about having a vision or a mission is that they all stream from a mandate. So when I say stream from a mandate, I mean you must have direction that has been given to you for you to have a vision that you can see. It cannot be that you have a vision and then you start moving towards it with your own human capacity or your own physical sight. Then you'll just end up fitting in with the rest of the world and having the traditional or business sort of visions or missions that are on the basis of statistics, revenues, market share, growth, whatever you want to say. But when it comes to having a sustainable vision and a sustainable mission, I don't think this is something in our human capacity we have the ability to see. You know what I mean? I feel like for me personally, my mandate is what gave me faith to see the vision and then to pursue the mission. I'll repeat that. My mandate is what gave me faith to see the vision and then pursue the mission. It did not come
Mhm.
from my own thoughts, my own abilities, my own foresight, what I want to see as Edith in the world. I don't think I can imagine the Africa that is currently in my vision, right? When me and Just sit together and we begin to share, the Africa that we see is not the one that we as human beings can imagine. The Africa we see is one that is excellent, that has been put on a platform for the rest of the world to look at and understand what greatness is. And it's one that really, really, I feel, especially in the last 2 years, is one that is being rebuilt. intentionally rebuilt. And the right people are being positioned. And funny enough, one of the things I've noticed is that when I have conversations with the people who are in the same space as myself and just in the same mindset, we're all saying the same thing. And if it was purely a vision or a mission that we had for ourselves as human beings, I don't think we would all be seeing or saying the same thing. It is impossible. There's too much alignment. The alignment is too big for it just to be myself or just has gone and has thought about it. Because there are times I'll come and I'll talk to just randomly and we start, we start saying what God is putting in our hearts for this continent. Or I'll go to her page and I'll be like, my sister, she's on the same tangent or on the same direction, So I know it's a mandate that we have been given. So the thing about a mandate is that it's not something you create for yourself. It is entrusted to you. It is given to you, and given to you so that you can be responsible, but at the same time given to you. And if you do not fulfill it, like Just keeps on saying, someone else will be given. If you don't do it, someone else will be blessed to do it.
So good. So good. So good. Thank you so very much. I like that. I would like to give an analogy of businesses that we know and look up to, aka blue chip companies. We like to use them as examples a lot. Microsoft, Bill Gates. If you read the biography of Bill Gates, you'll find that every year he takes time off and goes to specific secluded places in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names. You want to find out, go read, you would see. Specific secluded place. And he says very affirmatively, he says, I take time off because I need to renew my mind. I need to get fresh ideas. I need to get fresh solutions. I need to get new direction of where to take the company to. He said, that's why I have positioned people who would handle several roles so that I can do the thinking and do the creation or the creativity, as the case may be. Now, let me explain the meaning of these statements that Bill Gates throws around a lot. He takes time out of the noise to go to a place of solitude, meaning he's trying to commune with something. Somebody says they can't hear properly. Is it me or Edith? I need to be sure.
Let us know if
it's me now.
Me or Just. Oh my. Guys, please let me know if it's me or Just. Just, I think it might be you.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll disconnect from this Bluetooth.
Okay.
Is it better now? Can you hear me?
Oh, wow. Very beautiful. Very good. Now, the only thing I need to remember is not to talk when you're talking.
Okay, if not, there'll be an echo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to note that. Apologies, guys, for those earlier who couldn't hear me. So I'll just take it back again. I said I was trying to give an example of, is it better now? Fantastic. I was trying to give an example of a business that we all know and look up to. Microsoft, the founder, Bill Gates. Every time you listen to him speak, he'll tell you, once a year I take out time to go to a place of solitude. He says, so that I can think, I can create, I can get new ideas, new solutions to move the company forward or to move the vision forward. So let me explain what that means. Bill Gates goes to a place where he knows he can commune with God. Let me say it again. The world is built on the principles God created, but men and women have refused to give the credit to God, and they have given the credit to everything else but God. I'll say it again. The world is created on the principles God created from time immemorial. Men and women who are successful today, they leverage those principles, they get absolute results, but they refuse to give the credit to God. And that's why it looks like people are saying, if XYZ can be successful, yet they don't know God, what then are you saying about God in the equation? Guess what? Yeah. If you look at their lives very clearly, the principles that they apply, they are God principles. It's just not attributed to God publicly. And so I'm breaking this down so you can see clearly. He takes out time to go for a place of solitude once a year to get fresh idea. It's called retreating. That's what he does. He retreats once a year to go and get from God what to do next. And listen, if you're a Bible person, the scripture says, be still and know that I am God. That means anyone who is able to quieten their life is going to get superior revelation that is beyond their pay grade. Meaning the things you're unable to think of by yourself, once you retreat, which is what Bill Gates does once a year, he retreats to quieten his life so that he can hear. He goes to deploy the things he hears in his retreat. He gets superior results. And of course, everybody's looking at him to say, well, he's the model. But what you forget to pay attention to is the principles that led to the model. So the vision for Microsoft and everything else is created came from a place of solitude. That means he didn't just sit down and say, we will create Microsoft that will do this. He didn't just write it. He got a vision from a place of solitude. That means he tapped into an existing possibility, he embodied it, and created it as a solution that the world cannot get enough of. And every time he needs to renew that solution, he goes back to a place of solitude and get more answers, then comes out to come and deploy. I don't know. Sorry, is there a problem with my audio, Edith?
No, you sound fine to me.
Okay, fantastic. Good. So why am I sharing these basics to you? To understand that your sustainable vision must come from a place where you're getting something that is beyond your mind. I want to give another definition of what a vision is: the capacity to see the invincible and believe it's possible. The capacity to see the invincible and believe it's possible. You see something that is invincible, you catch it, you internalize it. Because of your belief, you internalize it, then you go ahead to create in tangible forms what you saw that the world cannot see. And that's how products and services are created. That's how this pen was created. Somebody figured out in their imaginations one day to say, what if there was something that you could just be doing this way and then it's giving you the letters you are writing? And the person sat down, understood that, internalized it, then went on to create it, and that's how we have this today. So every vision that you have today, that you have to go and look at what somebody else is doing to be able to create, you don't have a vision yet. I'll say it again. Anything that you call a vision and a mission statement that is dependent on you checking what your competitors are doing before you're able to produce, you don't have a vision yet. It means that you are driven by every and anything that passes. And there's one thing I want to point out here very excellently. Vision simplifies your life and it controls all your choices. So it means that if every day you see one thing or the other on the social space and you are, for lack of a better word, tempted to want to try or implement them into your business, it means that you don't have a destination. Because if you don't have a destination, every distraction will look like an opportunity. And that, my friends, is how businesses die in Africa. Because you want to do what everybody else seems to be doing. But there's no sustainable vision or mission that is birthed by looking at what everybody else is doing. When Facebook was building what we call the Facebook and Instagram today, he wasn't looking at Bill Gates to try and model Bill Gates into Instagram or Facebook. He sat down and saw a platform where men and women could collude. And he said, what if we do it this way? He came with laser focus, having in mind what he wanted to achieve. And what? He had taken them 12 years to be able to get to 3 billion users. That's what a vision is. You conceive it, you internalize it, and you start to birth it. No matter how long it takes you, you continue to birth it. In Africa, guys, we have a lot more buyers and sellers, aka business owners, than entrepreneurs. And I know this may sound harsh, but if you take this today to challenge you to get out of that sphere quickly, In my book, I break down the different examples of entrepreneurship. There are traders, there are business owners, which is and then there are entrepreneurs, then there are visionary entrepreneurs. Four categories. The difference between Africa and the other part of the world that is developed and developing is that the developed and developing countries have visionary entrepreneurs, where in Africa we have entrepreneurs, traders, and business owners. I'll say that again. The difference between Africa and other developed and developing countries in the world today is because they have an enormity of visionary entrepreneurs, while in Africa we have a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, and traders. And I'm going to break down these three different definitions for you in an attempt to explain what a vision truly is. Because it's when you have a vision that you become a visionary entrepreneur. You don't have a vision, you are either a trader or an entrepreneur. And I'll break that down. A trader, the person who, just down your street has a little kiosk and he just keeps buying things that you need. You come back 5 years later, he's still there buying the same things. He has not grown, he has not expanded, but he's still, just recycling that same revenue band, just to be able to service that community, that street, or that area, so to speak. Traders. You also find traders in our markets, our large markets. When you go to market, you see those ladies that you see that sell this particular thing. They are there again and again. Yes, they are making money. They're adding their own quota to the economy. They do. They are, because the unbanked, the underbanked, all of them have their own quota that they add to the economy. How be it if we are going to grow as a people and be able to compete comparatively with other economies, we need a lot more visionary entrepreneurs. So I don't want to jump the gun. I've explained traders. Now let's explain entrepreneurs, right? People who, if I have a solution, somebody needs it, I am content with exchanging my solution, collecting my money, that's it. That's an entrepreneur. I have a solution. Yes, so it will help the person's life get better, right? And all I'm concerned about is, as long as my solution works for you, please give me my money, take the solution, have a nice day. Those are entrepreneurs. A visionary entrepreneur, however, finds a problem, tells himself or herself, I will dedicate my life, no matter how long it takes, to make sure this problem is solved in this country, in this continent. So now that you have this understanding, wherever you are, begin to picture yourself, which category you fall into. Traders, entrepreneurs, and visionary entrepreneurs. Now that you are figuring out wherever you are, which category you fall into, the next question or the next thing we're going to do now is do a comparative analysis. In developed countries and developing countries, mention all the companies that you know. Majority of them are visionary entrepreneurs. They found problems. They're solving it. And that's why they are 70% the suppliers of the things we buy here. Our mobile phones, our computers, our lights, as basic as these things are, our pens, our books, every single thing that we use on this continent is imported from every other continent in the world. Why? They have visionary entrepreneurs. We have traders and entrepreneurs. That's why it looks like we're consistently dependent on every other person outside. And this is such a challenge to every entrepreneur who's listening to me today, because I have given you a breakdown. And God helps you if you're an entrepreneur who truly is serious about making the shift. This is a book I recommend, Visionary Entrepreneur. You can get it anywhere, everywhere, anywhere you are in the world. You can just order via the link where it's on Amazon. It's anywhere in the world. Because this categorization helps you move from that pool of everybody and anybody else in the marketplace to a place where you are solving a problem that the world would eventually reckon with you. And then whether they like it or not, you will rise to that level where you're a global supplier of that product and service, aka the platforms we are on today. And guys, I truly need us to begin to think about this critically. During the COVID-19 and lockdown, while we saw problems on the African continent, the entire world was seeing solutions. StreamYard, Zooms, and the like of them. Zoom started their business way before the lockdown. It was visionary. They saw a problem and they positioned themselves. They waited several years till an opportunity came where they became a global company that their net worth skyrocketed over the clouds. We are the Africans who are thinking of problems and dedicating their lives to create solutions. That's why we're having this conversation today. Because honestly, my dear friends, I have said to us that the difference between where Africa is today and where we want to get to is visionary entrepreneurs. It's the simple answer. That means don't come to me telling me I just want to, buy and sell this product so I can make money and keep ends meet. That's one of our problems, my dear brothers and sisters. You and I were not created for the singular purpose to make your stomach full. You must catch a vision that precedes you. And that's why I said earlier, the definition of vision, quote me anywhere in the world. And let me tell you, in the next 5 to 10 years, Harvard would accept this definition today. As you heard me give this definition, 10 years from now, Harvard and every other institution in the world will accept this definition as the definition of a vision. Catching a glimpse of a picture that exists and you are just replicating. It's as simple as that. And so sit down with yourself. What I have been doing, have I just been doing entrepreneurship or visionary entrepreneurship? And the very fastest way you can be able to key is list the top 10, top 20 people that you follow and you look up to in terms of what they have done with their businesses, their visions, and their mandates, and identify the very thing that has kept them there and has moved them to that top. You would see vision. So what, my friends, is the vision for your business? It's food for thought. Sit down. Your vision is not your value proposition. It's not what I help you do. It's what have you been sent as a solution to. That's what your vision is. That means God opened your eyes to see what exists as a solution to X, Y, Z. And then you catch that vision, you turn it into a product and a service. Let me make it very practical. The vision for the Association of African Startups, that I'm privy to be the sitting president now, is to be able to raise entrepreneurs that would see their businesses as part of the statistics that will rebuild the African economy. You know, as entrepreneurs in Africa, so in a lot of ways, we just say our businesses as well, let me buy and sell. But you must have an understanding that the SMEs in Africa add to 50% of our GDP. It's a knowing, it's a consciousness. If you don't have that consciousness, you don't arrive to a level where you would grow that business or you be the administrator of that business with that knowing. It's first a knowing. They knowing. So what we decided to do is begin to raise entrepreneurs who are conscious that they matter in the scheme of things in the entire GDP of this continent. So they now look at their businesses not as building businesses, but they're building industries. They're building sectors. They're building institutions. It's first a mindset shift. And then that begins to affect all the other things that they do as decisions in their business. That is the vision we cut for TAS. And that's what made us created the organization that does all the things it does now to equip entrepreneurs who are startups and, of course, building entrepreneurs. You see how a vision is. So that means that whether I am there or not, or the vision is clear, anyone who comes and sees the vision, they connect with it and it's easy to replicate it in the different places where we go. Yes, they're building industries and sectors. They're not building businesses that they just want to eat and make certain money. Do you see the mindset? And that's because we're laying a foundation where we want to raise visionary entrepreneurs. Yes, that's how you enter into the Forbes list. That's how you become the people who the world needs. That's how you become the people who are actually alleviating poverty, alleviating all the things that we don't want to see, making education better, making policy and governance better. That's how we become it, by vision. So yeah, Edith, I'm going to stop here and let you shed a couple of light on some of the things that we have mentioned here today.
You know, when you were speaking, just I think I started crying, which happens a lot whenever you speak. I started crying, but I started crying because I literally felt a weight on my chest for African entrepreneurs. And this is what's in my heart at the moment, or what was placed in my heart at the moment. I'm not sure if you know, right? But the world began with people that look like me and you. I know that the Western world has tried to cheat you and say that Africans showed up later on or were a by the way or a byproduct or a mistake, but we are the beginning. And let me simplify it for you this way. the the only color, right? The only gene makeup that can make all the different races is ours. Because from an African, you have someone as dark as myself, or as dark as the Sudanese, all the way to an albino. All the shades within the race makeup, we are the beginning. Okay? God started with us. If you didn't know, let me let you know. Right? I know that these days, whenever we watch movies about Passion of Christ, Jesus is a blonde man, he's a white blonde man. It's a lie, okay? If you've gone through scripture, it's a lie, right? He looked like me and you, kinky hair and everything, afro and everything. But it's okay. The world has chosen to do what they always do, and recreate history, right? But the reality is this. Africans, we were created to be great. We were created to be pioneers. But we have been sold a lie, and we have bought it, and we have been running with it every single day. We have been told that money is the be all end all. And I don't know who cheated us, but we all went and bought the lie. And because of that, we have lost a lot of visionaries in the pursuit or the chase of money. And this is why things like corruption are plaguing the African continent, but you rarely find in other parts of the world. It's that hunger for money. So that when people are building businesses, they're building it on the basis of how much money, how much revenue can I get from this? Anyone, these days, someone can't even help you, right? You get a flat tire, people won't even help you from the goodness of their heart. You have to give them something. Money became our currency. But our currency as Africans was grace. It was goodness. It was a good heart. That's how we were created. We were created sustainable. Sustainability, impact was inbred in our DNA. But we have grown up in this lack mindset, this lack environment, and because of it, that is now what we're creating and replicating and building and feeding to our children, that everything is on the basis of what can I get from it. No one here is paying me and Just to do this live. They must let us know how much they've deposited in our accounts. It's not about the money. The second you get into a mindset of domination, a mindset of sustainability, a mindset of impact, a mindset of mandate. And I keep on using the word mandate, right? Because purpose and mandate, they go hand in hand. And it's not something you can create for yourself. It's not something that you find, that you go and you knock at a door and you find for yourself. Right? If I had been asked what my purpose would be 15, 20 years ago, I would have never said this. I would have never thought I would have been here on a mandate to create opportunities for 1 million Africans. Never in a million years. I would have figured something else, probably a good job, comfortable location. And that's again why we have Africans who are being educated abroad and then they go and they build other economies. Nonsense. Why? We're paying for your school fees to go to the Harvards, the Oxfords, the Cambridges, the whatnots, and you're going and you're living there and you're building there. I am upset with you. I have a bone to pick with you. Because Africa needs its best and its brightest. But because we have been sold the lie of, I must line my own pocket, then you are stealing from the destiny that this continent has. The only reason why we're going backwards instead of forwards is because of you and me. What are we doing? How are we building sustainably? How are we making impact? It's our fault. Me, I will not blame government because government is not the entire continent. There are players like me and you that have a responsibility. And the reason why I'm even more upset is because I'm not sure if you know, but there's an agenda that God has for this continent to rebuild and to make her shine. But everyone, especially in the midst of COVID, instead of using that for their rise, using that to shine, using that to be on a platform, using that to do things unashamedly, people are sitting on dreams. People are sitting like watchmen, fast asleep. A lot of you. fast asleep. Entrepreneurs who have been called as visionaries, but you're so busy being business owners, and you are the reason that there are people who don't have jobs, that families are going hungry because you benched your idea in the name of money, in the name of paying your every single day bills. And there are a lot of people that are sitting with ideas and they are failing this continent because they're not acting on that vision. They're not acting on the mission that has been handed to them. You are Jonah and you will be swallowed by a fish. I kid you not. You will be swallowed by a fish. I kid you not. You must come and you must fulfill the mandate that has been given to you. Your sustainable vision and mission is here to save lives. That's the only reason that Just and I, we make sacrifices every single day. We make sacrifices. Every single time we meet and we talk, God calls us to do something we didn't want to do, something that's uncomfortable. But Africans, we like comfort. We were not built for comfort. We were not built for comfort. We were built to be uncomfortable so that we can create a stronger generation. But I'm upset because we are failing the next generation. We are really failing the next generation because we think entrepreneurship is a by the way, that it is a means to make money. Entrepreneurship is a calling. It is a gift. If you have it, don't waste it. You have a responsibility. Do not waste it. You will be held to give an account of that vision, of that mission. Don't go around writing things, selling things. That's nothing. The business plan is nothing if at the end of the day you cannot wake up and drive the mandate to the end. The mandate must kill you inside to not see the realities happen. Every single day, I literally feel like a woman in childbirth, like I'm carrying this child for Africa. And every single day I labor knowing, God, this plus this plus this plus this will get to what you want for me. But a lot of you are letting God down because you're not doing your part. You're chasing the account, you're chasing the money, you're chasing the revenue. Shame on you. I won't even say anything else. Let's be.
That we hadn't written anything down. We just knew clearly that this was going to take a different dimension. Like, I'm seeing this unfold. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You see, one of the things I want to quickly add is that we have been told that as long as you're able to take care of your day to day, I'm sure you should be fine. And what we don't know is that living in the present is a recipe for depression, is a recipe for all the things that you don't want to see. Meaning, every day, how can I get by? How can I do this? That's how high blood pressure comes. Because you're thinking, how can I do? You're striving, doing different things. But people who build great businesses that eventually build economies are people whose eyes, are fixed on a prize bigger than them. And that's, my friends, is vision. And vision comes from God. It's not an assumption of what you think it should be. And I'll give you an analogy using Martha and Mary in the Bible. Jesus was going to visit these ladies. And Martha assumed that, Jesus is coming, I have to cook food. So she was busy doing all kinds of things, preparing left, right, and center. And Jesus needed to feed. But Martha came and Mary sat. I just want to hear from the person. I want to listen to the person. I want to get the download for the person. And after a while, Martha came and said, why won't you tell her to come and join me? Can't you see that I'm doing what I assume is what you need? AKA preparing for you to be comfortable. And Jesus said, no, she has chosen the more noble one, which is sitting at my feet to download what I want to do. Do you see how a lot of us are assuming that because we have gotten this idea, this is how it should be, then we run. And then when you run and get to a place, you get stuck, you're like, oh my God, this thing that I'm doing is not working. You know why? Because you're being like Martha, assuming what should be, rather than sitting like Mary to get what he truly wants to do. And just to take this a little further, here are steps that we should take if we want to write sustainable visions. The first thing you must understand is hidden in a seed is the ability to produce a forest. Hidden in a small seed is an ability to produce a forest. You look at a seed, you think it's just a tree and a fruit. No, darling. A tree comes out from that seed, a fruit comes out. That same fruit, inside the fruit, there's a seed that will produce another tree, another fruit. Like that. It keeps going until you have a forest. So that means the blue chip company you want to build has always been inside you as the seed. But we're looking for the vision outside the seed. It's like looking for the forest outside the seed. It doesn't work. So the first step, like I shared with you, what Bill Gates and majority of the billionaires do, solitude. That's step one to writing a sustainable vision. Step one, solitude. Once you go on solitude or go in solitude, you begin to get downloads. As you're getting downloads, write an array of everything you can hear, you can perceive, you can get, you can discern. Write a list. A lot of times as you are hearing, it will be a lot. Okay, and a lot of them may not be things that you do at the same time, but the idea is to document what you're hearing. And then as you're documenting what you're hearing, there's something called asking specific questions. And I think this a lot to a lot of people to say, we have to learn to see God not just as a God who sits there on his throne and is watching. He's an administrator of the entire universe. An administrator will tell you how, what, when. I'll say that again. An administrator over a resource, if you want to take the resource from the person, the administrator will tell you how to use it, what to use it for, when to use it for, before they allow you have proper access to it. Or before they allow you have a full blueprint or a full framework of what they have in stock for that particular resource you're trying to take from them. And that's the way God is. He's the administrator of the entire universe. And so every time he gives you an idea, he mostly will give you a how, a what, a when, a who. And that's why solitude is important. Asking strategic questions from God. And that's why if you're someone who's familiar with the scriptures, it says that, come, let us reason together. God has given an opportunity for you and him to reason, rub minds. This is what is going on. What do you think I should do? We need to begin to see God like that, because that's the only way you can get the full package from an administrator over the resource of the universe. And when I say the resource, I'm talking about idea resource, business resource, strategy resource, people resource, solution resource, any resource whatsoever. He's the administrator. And so, because like a forest is hidden inside a seed, inside you is the forest, the blue chip company, the conglomerate, the dynasty, the businesses that will build the economy seated inside you. But to be able to extract the seed, you must get out, solitude. After which you document. After documenting, the next thing is to now begin to draw a line of action from everything that you have been given. So you see, the line of action, which is your running, comes way after you have gotten the entire vision. You see how it works. It's not that you just sit down, write what you think is obtainable in the marketplace, and you begin to run. That's not how we were wired. Once you have written all of these things, and then you have identified the what, the when, the how, the who, then you now create a line or a plan of action that allows you to swing into daily executions, monthly or weekly or annual executions, depending on what it is you have been called to do. Because every time God gives you a vision, a lot of times he gives you in very big formats. God doesn't speak in small things. The reason why he doesn't speak in small things is because it's a future that exists. He's trying to bring you into his space. That's why you would have an idea that says you can build Africa. And you say it with conviction. Why? Because somebody spoke to you. Yeah. The person that spoke to you because it's done in his own realm. And that's where you got the conviction that it was possible. Anytime you speak about an idea boldly, the only reason why you're able to speak about it boldly is because there's a conviction you caught from downloading that idea. And that's how you know that it's not men that give ideas. It's not anything else every other person attributes to is God. Because it's a conviction. How are you convicted about a thing you have not seen? It's only God that can do that. Name any blue chip company you see in the world today. It's the same principle. But like I said earlier, unfortunately, they take the results, they apply the principles, they take the result, they do not give credit to the God who did it. But as Africans, we know better. We know better. And we are not going to be fooled into believing what the world has to offer us when we know what the real thing is. Having said that, it's imperative for every single one of us to begin to look at ourselves as potential forests, enter into ourselves, harvest the seed, plant the seed, which is your vision, and nurture that seed until it becomes a forest. A forest, in this case, a blue chip company, a conglomerate, a group of companies. That's the forest. It started from a seed. The seed is inside of you. Go in, bring it, plant it, nurture it, be patient enough to nurture it, because it's in the nurturing it over time that it begins to birth all the different angles to it that contributes to nation building, that contributes to economic growth and development, that contributes to education, poverty alleviation, climate change, and everything else that looks like a problem in the African continent today. Why are we very particular about Africa? Well, because we have singular mandates to build this continent. Our job is to rally a troop whose minds are aligned with the fact that Africa is a continent and it must be paid attention to. And just if we don't know, this is the only continent in the world that has not been built. And this continent is also the last frontier or the next frontier, if you want to call it that way. Meaning that the whole world sees in us opportunities that we don't see. And that's why they're running here, but we are running there. You see the thing, Edith. And that's the saddest part. They see what you see here. They're running here. We don't see it. You're running there. And no, this is not a yes, amen, amen. And no, this is not a calling out or castigating or no. It is us just opening our eyes to see the things that are possible and begin to burn to dedicating ourselves. And just so that somebody who is listening that is going to be challenged or motivated to do things differently, I'm just going to drop this so you understand. Every true vision will be tested. Every true vision will be tested. That's the only way you know the vision is true. If nobody is challenging what you carry, you don't carry anything. Let me say it again. If nothing is challenging what you carry, you're not carrying anything. Go and check yourself again. Yes, go and check yourself again. It's the magnitude of the challenges coming that will make you know that I am truly carrying something worth preserving. Yes. And as they keep coming, the more your vision is able to weather all those challenges, the more you know it's sustainable. The more you know it will stand. The more you know it will amount to something. The more you know it to achieve that which it has been sent to achieve. Why? Because it's going through all the challenges, you feel tired, you still move, keep moving. You still keep moving. During the COVID-19, so many businesses died. Your warfare is different, my darling. So many businesses died. Of course, in the different parts of the world. But you see, the businesses that died were entrepreneurs, not visionary entrepreneurs. The businesses that died were entrepreneurs, not visionary entrepreneurs. Visionary entrepreneurs were moved to the next level. Let me say it again. The businesses that died during the COVID-19 were businesses that were entrepreneurs, not visionary entrepreneurs. Visionary entrepreneurs, God created that as an opportunity for them to enter into the next phases of their lives and business. So that should have been a wake-up call for everybody. And between you and me, I'm sharing this here publicly just so we know. I had a coaching and consulting business during the lockdown. And quite frankly, when people were selling products and services to make money during that period, I felt guilty charging people for money when I knew that it was about what I wanted to collect from them, even if it was going to give them some level of results, aka entrepreneurs. As long as I give you value, give me my money, no problem. Everybody go their way. That's entrepreneurship. That's why your business died. Because the customers you are servicing, they have the greatest need every business on earth needs is hope. Let me say it again, in case you haven't heard me, visionary entrepreneurs. The greatest need of every customer that you serve today is hope. Not that product, not that solution. And that's why your business died during lockdown, because you were not an agent of hope. You are an agent of give me money. That's why your business died. Because we're at a time where businesses were looking for succor. They were looking for hope. They were looking for leadership. But people were collecting money. And they're like, no, after a while, the people are collecting money, be like, no, please, that's not what I'm looking for. And then businesses like the Association of African Startups that was better to reinstill hope, people lashed on it. The only reason people jumped on task is because they saw a vision, they saw a ray of hope, they saw something that they felt like they could be a part of. So it was in that lockdown period that I birthed a vision, not just running a business. And that's why, even if there are 100 lockdowns, 100 years from now, this organization will still remain as long as God tarries. And of course, if He wants us to continue. Why? Vision. Zoom was not a business owner, he was a visionary entrepreneur. And that's why I look at his network today. StreamYard, don't call. Give me all the names of all the ones. People like Microsoft started to pivot and create meeting platforms. Why? Vision. Are you building for now just because you want to collect money? Or are you building because you have caught a vision of a future that is possible and you are submitting yourself to be the agent of that change? Do you realize that in Africa, our culture is going to become extinct if a fashion designer does not catch a vision of preserving our culture? Let me say it again. Do you realize that the culture of the African continent is going to go extinct if a person does not catch a vision of how to preserve it and create it into a fashion business? Because the world we live in, aka the Western world, will teach you how to dress your children. And even if they have to open everything, they will teach you how to do it. And that's what you will sell because you think that's what the market wants. But there's somebody who should have been catching a vision of what it should feel like to be modest and preserve our culture and turn it into a business right now. And right now, the world may not pay attention to that person, but give it time. When they begin to see that this person is consistently saying we're preserving culture, this person is consistently saying we're creating modesty as a lifestyle. It's the vision, not the product. And one of the reasons people don't invest in your business is because you're selling a product, not a vision. Every time you go for pitches and competitions and you're pitching and you're selling products and services, not visions, you most likely will not get the investor's attention. And this is just an expo for somebody who may be going to. Investors are moved by visions that they can see people would believe in, people's lives will transform. That's what they are moved by. So if investors who want to give you money are moved by that, think about your customers. We're in the era where the average human's mind has been awoken to need beyond peripheral things. I don't know if the things I'm saying are too much, but I'm just saying as it's coming to me. We are in an era, in a generation where the average customer you service today, their needs and their desires have moved beyond peripheral things. Yes. They're very concerned about my mind, my mental transformation. What is my life going to amount to? How can I make a difference? People are beginning to get awakened to that. So if you sell a product and service, begin to align. Coca-Cola doesn't sell house sweets. They sell a vision to you. Refreshing. Community. They sell a vision. Give me any other brand that you look up to. Apple, class. They don't sell the product, class. Exclusivity, class. 1% of the 1%. That's what Apple sells. Facebook, what do they sell? Community, social networking, not the product. So what do you sell in this similitude? I want to see in the comment section, what do you sell? I will hear people saying hair, clothes, shoe. That's not a vision. If you sell hair, you shouldn't be selling hair as a product. You should be selling confidence, self-esteem. The things that you know the human mind needs, but they cannot touch.
Yeah.
We're much more moved by our intrinsic needs and our outward needs. And so we buy outward needs to fill a need of our intrinsic desires. A girl will buy hair because she wants to feel like she's a big girl. It's a feeling that she's buying. She's not buying hair. She wants to feel like she's a big girl. Yes. She wants to feel like she's amongst the people doing things. So she's buying a feeling, an innate desire. And that's what you should be selling, a vision. That's what is preserved. That's what can never change. That's what will outlast you, not the product. Because tomorrow, somebody else will come and tell you the hair that was the measure for her to feel okay, they will change it and say it's no longer hair, it's handkerchiefs to be wearing. And she will leave your hair and go and buy the handkerchief. But if she was coming to you because you were preserving something that's related to her innate, the vision, she never leaves you. And that's just one typical example of hair. All the different businesses that exist. What are you selling? It's important that we get this and we get it right. And once we do, you'll find that we'll start raising businesses who are not looking for quick money syndromes. They're going to stay there and grow and evolve. But as they're evolving, they're fixing the very fabric with which our society is built. Because as they're growing, they're taking note very consciously of the things that need to be repaired by their products and services. And whilst doing it, they're building healthy communities that can enroll into their vision and everybody's growing together. The things that we're discussing here today is an opportunity I believe that God has given us for us to provoke ourselves to do it differently. America was changed or was built because a man like Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, and so many other men. So many Americans bought that dream. They bought that dream. And that's why there's an American dream today. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of leaders who are seeing beyond their noses on the African continent. Not one of them have dreams of the African descent. I have a dream, and I'm going to share that dream here publicly with everyone. I post the dream every Friday on my feed. Tomorrow I'm going to reshare the dream. Every Friday, I put out the dream across board so that Africans can see that there's an African dream. And my dream for the African continent is that one day we will become one nation. One nation, this time around, as a superpower. Because individually, as a country, as a continent, we're too small to compete comparatively. Look at Gambia or Djibouti competing with China. It doesn't make sense. China will swallow them up. So divided, we can't stand. So I have a dream that one day Africa will become one nation that will compete comparatively with other global economies, this time as a superpower. And once we get to that level, we'll be able to harness our natural resources, our mineral resources, our human resources to be able to create immeasurable wealth. And this wealth will be stewarded by astute and accountable leaders who will create an Africa where every descendant of Africa is a treasure. That's my African dream. And I will never stop talking about it. If you love it, keep sharing it. You can go through my feed, you will see it. Let's keep sharing that African dream, that it will spread amongst all of us. That's how South Africa too was built. That's how Mandela stopped apartheid. He had a dream. He was willing to die for that dream. And what happened? It spread across board. If there's no dream, if there's no vision, the people perish. We're not going to wait for our governments anymore to do it. We're going to keep praying for them and keep rallying a troop, keep planting ourselves in the centers, in the corners where they are, to be able to advise them accordingly. But while we are doing that, we are a troop. We must make our voices count. There are 17 plus on Instagram. I don't know how many on Facebook, LinkedIn, and other platforms. You have caught this today. And once you have that belief in you, it will spark up something that will move you into your own communities, whether virtually or physically, to begin to spread that gospel of an African dream. And then it begins to control your choices, control your decisions, control your investments, control the conversations that you have. Why? Because we have seen an Africa that is possible. We are not helpless. Don't be fooled. It looks like everything seems to be tearing apart. Don't be fooled. We're not helpless. There's an army underground being birthed. There's an army. It's an enormous army being birthed. That you have the privilege to hear this today, it means that you could be one of those that could be enrolled into the army of the new Africa we desire to see. It's not a coincidence that AFCFTA was birthed. Why? It's the same vision of bringing Africa together to be able to harness their resources, to be able to trade and enjoy the best of each other. It's one of those things. So Africa, you may think is going down, is not. We are rising. What's your part? Would you still keep being that entrepreneur or trader? Or you become a visionary entrepreneur? Edith, I'm going to let you talk and then I think we can round up. It's 1 hour already. Oh my God.
Oh my God. So I literally have been downloading and writing everything that was being placed in my heart. So here is my message for the visionary entrepreneur that is on a mission. Just mentioned that we are seeds and we are planted and we are birthing a forest. Here's the thing about being planted. When you're underground, it might feel like you're buried. It's the same thing. Being planted and being buried, they tend to look and feel the same. They are not the same, but they feel the same. And as a visionary entrepreneur, I will tell you this. I have been underground. I have been planted. I understand if that's where you are now. If you're looking around and it looks pitch black, it is not death. You are planted. You're being prepared for your growth. Do not despise the days of your preparation. Do not look down on the days of your preparation. Do not try and hasten your preparation. I know young people, microwave generation, we're always in a hurry. We're always going somewhere, doing something. If the internet is 1 minute slow, we all get upset, If someone takes an extra 20 minutes, we're even more angry. Microwave generation, I know. But here's what I'm going to tell you. To have a vision and a mission, the other thing you must have is patience. Hear me well. You must be able to wait and wait well. I wrote about this a little bit in my book that's coming out in 2 weeks, In the Fullness of Purpose. More on that in the link in my bio. But one of the things I mentioned in it is the ability not just to wait, because patience is not waiting. It's the attitude you have as you wait. Are you looking down on that time, or are you looking at it as I have done all I can do for this vision, for this mission. I have left it to God because I have gotten to a place where I can no longer do the rest. And then you don't wait while complaining. You wait in faith. You wait for your day. You don't look at other people and get upset because it's their day. No, you have the grace to wait well and and celebrate other people while you're waiting, knowing that you're planted, that your sprouting is right around the corner, that right now you're being watered. It's okay. You're underground. It's okay. The separation is for elevation. Separation, and I say it again, is for elevation. It's so that you can go to the next level. Don't start asking yourself why. Oh, all my friends, they disappeared. All my people, they disappeared. All of a sudden I was by myself. What's happening? You're angry about it. No. Sometimes that separation happens so that, like what Just is saying, you can download that vision. Some visions are too heavy, too big to be downloaded when you're in that toxic relationship. It's too heavy to be downloaded when you're in a toxic work environment. It's too heavy to be downloaded when you're in a space of people who are not celebrating you. And it's okay. Allow that separation to happen. Because funny enough, what will happen is that after that, you will be connected with purpose mates or vision mates, people that will come and act as mandate helpers for whatever trajectory you're on. So let the separation happen. The right people will be put in your space to help propel you towards that vision. Don't start fighting to keep people, to stay in places, to stay in situations and in relationships and in whatever it is. Know when it's time to be separated. Allow it to happen. Allow the growth, the being planted to happen, and allow it to happen on God's time, not your own. Don't try and sit and tap your clock for Him. Don't try and do it. Don't try and do it. Because what will happen is someone else will be selected for that vision. You have to be able to be patient, to wait well, and more than anything, remember that provision is always on its way. It may not come when you think it's going to come, but it will come. Provision will always be on its way. However, here's the thing about provision. It doesn't come on the day that you want it to come or you need it to come. It comes on the day when the manifestation of your faith has allowed for the space for that provision to come in. What do I mean? Sometimes the reason why you don't have the resources, be it people, be it finances, be it partnerships, be it whatever, is because God knows if you had it, you would start to beat your chest. It's me. It's Edith. I did that. So He won't give it to you because it will add to your pride. He will not give it to you. If it separates you from Him, He will not give it to you. So sometimes the delay is not necessarily denial. It's just because you're not in the right position, you're not in the right space, you're not with the right people, you're not in the right environment, your position is not correct, your heart wants the wrong things, your heart is chasing the wrong things, you're still after people and relationships that are not for you. And you don't know how to say no to them. So as a result, God is saying, wait to your vision. Because your vision is too great, too beautiful to be in that environment. Don't try and put yourself with what is not meant for you. Here's an analogy. There was a state house member, right? A cabinet member. And this cabinet member approaches the king with a bill. And he tells the king, kindly sign on the dotted line. Here is the bill. Here are the terms, the conditions, the rules. This is what we want to implement. Sign the dotted line. Don't we do that to God sometimes? We go and we write out a business, we write out a vision, we write out everything, who the customers are, which country we're going to do this in, who the team will be, how much money we want, and then we take to Him and we say, okay, sign. Sign on the dotted line. Make it happen. Shame on you and shame on me if we have done that. I have done that before. Where we try to litigate something that God already has His own plan and bill for. So I want to challenge you. Instead of taking it to Him to sign on the dotted line, go to Him and say, I have signed on the dotted line. Write out the bill. Write out the plan. Write out what you want. Write it out for me. Because I do not have the wisdom. Write it for me. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the capacity. Write this business for me. Tell me how to do it. Tell me how to approach it. Tell me the people I need. Tell me the resources I need. Tell me the ideas. Tell me the prices to set. Some of you are underpricing. Why? Because you have not gotten to the value that God wants you to give to the world. So of course you can't charge the price He wants you to charge. Of course not. Because you're busy taking something to Him that He's already written and legislated for you. He just needs you to sign. So you're here and you're complaining and you're saying, where's the manifestation? Friend, you haven't signed the dotted line. Can you go and sign and wait for Him to play it out in accordance to His plan? That is what it means to be an entrepreneur on a vision and a mission, because it is not your own. You are birthing what has been given to you and generated for you. So there's no chance of failure. There's no chance of closing doors. The mountains that God will allocate to you, He allocates to you because He knows you have the capacity to move it. But some of you, instead of building your capacity to move the mountain that's in front of you, you're busy running in the other direction. You have that fear, that doubt, that let me get this job, let me go here, let me do this. Can you sign the dotted line and trust, even when it looks like you're buried? Trust, even when it looks like it doesn't make sense. You sit and you trust. If Jesus showed up to raise Lazarus 4 days late, who are you? Jesus had Lazarus was sick. He said, let's stay here 2 more days. It sounds like madness. Let's stay another 2 days? Wow, okay. Not that he was doing anything important, but that's him. He wants to show off. So if he puts you in the ground, if he puts you in the fire, it's because he wants to show off. So let him. We must learn to allow God to show off and to take up space.
I don't know how to explain it. There are jobs that will stay in people's hearts forever. Yeah.
Oh my.
They will stay in people's hearts forever.
I'm not even gonna.
Ah, jeez. Oh gosh, this is so good. She took us back to church. Like, wait. Wow, so good. So good. I love it. Thank you so much, Edith. We're going to round up on this note. I'm just going to say that there's one enemy of right. The greatest enemy of right is not wrong. I know all of you, if I ask you what's the enemy of right, you say wrong. But no, the greatest enemy is not of right, is not wrong. Satan knows you are too smart to do wrong things. So he puts white and black. He knows you are smart, you won't pick black. So the greatest enemy of right is not wrong. The greatest enemy of right is good.
Hey.
Let me just do this one and be okay. That's the greatest enemy. Because that's mediocrity. And why am I sharing this here? There are so many of you who are here today running businesses. Well, as long as we are okay, me and my family are okay, there's food for us to eat, there's this for us to do. That's the greatest enemy of right. And right is purpose, vision. So when I say the greatest enemy of right is good, not wrong, is the greatest enemy of purpose, aka vision, is just doing your business. Let me just be there. Let me just have income. Mediocrity. That's the greatest enemy. Because he knows that if you can be okay, the selfish human tendency in you will thrive and you will stay being okay. And that's resource wasted. Satan's greatest agenda is to make sure the resource called you is wasted. That's his greatest agenda. That God created the entire universe and said, I will put man as the administrator over planet Earth. Let's bring it down to Africa. God created the continent Africa. No, he did not split us into 55. We were split into 55 by our colonial masters. So we were not supposed to be 55 nations. And it was divided so that they can conquer and rule. Just in case you did not know it today. So Edith is not supposed to be a Kenya by herself. Yes, she may have boundaries that shows that she's from this particular local government area, but she was not meant to be separated. We were meant to be one. That's how Africa was created. And so Satan knows that all he needs is for all the different presidents in Africa to just be okay with their pockets. And as long as they're okay with their pockets, any deal they are able to sign to keep themselves okay, they will sign it as long as it does not affect them. The greatest enemy of right is good. So as long as it's good for them, it can be not good for any other person. And that's why we're able to be divided and almost conquered. I'm giving this analogy because we, my friends, are the next sets of leaders that would ascend into different areas in polity and governance and leadership on this continent. If you have this understanding that the greatest enemy of right is not wrong, it's good. That means if I am doing something and I know that I am just doing it for myself, there's room for more and for it to serve people, you are wrong. You are wrong. So go back to your drawing board. Are you doing the right thing, aka working in the purpose and vision that God has given you for that business, that idea, that mandate, that ministry? Or you have chosen to do a part of it that serves your comfort for the time there? You're wrong. Go back to right and live good. Mediocrity in itself is a sin. If you doubt me, go to Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. Somebody help me. Zephaniah 1, verse 14 or 2, verse 14. I can't remember. Complacency is a sin. God says, I am searching through Jerusalem with my torch. If I find any complacent person, I will judge them. I will take their vineyards. I will take their houses. It's in the scripture. The day I saw that scripture, I put my hand on my head. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know this existed. Yes. So mediocrity in itself is a sin. When you're saying the resources God has put inside of you, go and check the parable of the talents. The vision he's giving you, the mandate he's giving you, you have watered it down to pick the one that is comfortable and convenient for you to do at a time. Why? Because, hey, I need to feed. I need to pay bills. Now, don't get me wrong, those things are great as an entrepreneur. But there's a mindset that's required if we're going to do anything worthwhile. If you don't care about Africa, at least care about your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, the legacy. Care about your legacy. What are you going to leave behind? What's going to be said about our generation? You know why we're angry at our leaders today? Because we look at them and we tell them they failed us. Don't get it twisted. You and I are going to be on that table soon. It's easy for you to curse now, to call them all kinds of names. In 20 years, you will be seated there. And our children will have the opportunity to either call you what you call the leaders today or say something different. What will it be? It's a challenge I'm leaving for everybody today. What will it be? Will it be said that my mommy's generation, they actually remedied this country, this continent? Or they will cost you even more? Let's stop cursing what doesn't work. Let's start doing the work. Stop complaining, start complying. Stop burying your head in depression. Start designing with God the solutions that we need. Stop. Zephaniah 1:12. Bless you, madam. Bless you. Zephaniah 1:12. Go read it. You will see. Stop complaining. Start complying with what God wants. Stop being angry and depressed. Start designing with God the solutions we need right now. If today has helped you in any way, please look forward to our next session on Thursday, by the grace of God, 11 a.m. West African time, 1 p.m. East African time. Turn on post notifications. Follow myself. Follow Edith. Edith's handle is Edith Njage. Mine is just_consultant. Follow us. Pay attention to the things that we do. Feel free to join our communities. I feel like everybody should get this book if you want to become a visionary entrepreneur. It's affordable. It's about $10 or $15 or $20. I cannot remember now. It's very affordable. And then Edith's book is coming. When it comes out, I'm also going to share it so that everyone can see. In Pursuit of Purpose. So you see, it's not even different from this. Visionary entrepreneur has the same pursuit of purpose, right? I truly, truly want to encourage every single one. Let's switch. Amen. Amen. We're going to take one or two questions. Last week we didn't take questions at all. Please give us one or two questions from any platform, wherever you're joining, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, one or two questions so we can address it, and then we'll end today's live stream to join by the grace of God next Thursday, God's willing. Right, yeah. Thank you everyone who's joined so far. Thank you everyone. Edith, please look out for your own side if there's any what's the word now? If there's any question, I'm also looking at Instagram to be sure that there's none. Thank you all so very much. Thank you for your interactiveness. Is that English correct? I hope so. Thank you for your interaction, not interactiveness. Thank you for your interaction. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for soaking in the word that we have shared today. Thank you for tagging your friends to join. And feel free to share this on your story so that as many more people will come catch the replays on our handles. Because the replays is going to be there, open for everyone to see and listen to. Much more than anything, our greatest desire is millions and billions of people across the globe,
Yeah.
millions and trillions of people across the globe will find it and be enrolled into the vision side of life. So somebody is in the comment section here today. She says, I sell banana bread. How do I sell my vision and not the product? So I want men to eat my bread and feel loved. Oh my God. Now that's the answer to her question.
Yeah.
I love that. I want men to eat my bread and feel loved. That is the answer to your question. Generala, I love her name. Let me see well. So beautiful. Generala Adesoya, that's her name. She says banana bread. But at the heart of her desire is she wants men to eat her bread and feel loved. So how should she sell her vision, not the product? Edith, want to share something quickly? My device is about to shut down. So go ahead.
I got you covered, Just. I got you covered. I would ask this, right? When it comes to having a vision, I like how I think it was Daniel who had said up there, and he said that the world doesn't care what you know; they want to know that you care. And that's the thing about a vision. It comes from a space of care. It cannot come from a space of gain, sales, or money. People just want to know that you care. So tell them how you care. Tell them why you care. Tell them how your caring for them will make their lives better. So, in simple, you're on the right track, right? You want there's another question also. You want the person who is buying your bread to know that you made that bread because you care for them. You want them, when they taste it, to feel that you care for them, that you love them. Any product or service built from a place of love for your customer will always sell. It will always sell. It will never go awry. It will never lack people lining up. People just want to see your heart. But in this world, we've been taught how to hide ourselves. right? We put makeup over ourselves, not just physically, but emotionally. We hide what makes us vulnerable. But in order for Africa to get to where it needs to get to, guess what? We need to start showcasing the vulnerability. The only reason I was crying here when Just was speaking and when I was downloading is because I could feel God's heart for this continent. I could feel his heart for a visionary entrepreneur. I could feel his heart for you. So when it comes to even having that vision, allow yourself to download, right? I cannot tell you what it is because it's not for me to tell you. It's for you to go and seek it out. I love how Jeremiah, I think it's 29:11 says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and to give you a future. But people never read verse 12. And verse 12 says, and you will find it when you seek me. You cannot step into a plan if you don't seek the writer. Some of you, the reason why you've never gotten to the vision is because you stop reading after chapter 2. You don't read the rest of the book. You don't read his plans for you. You don't ask him. So then you're over there, you're really singing the verse, right? God will prosper me, Wow. No, you have to find him first. You have to seek him. And Just will tell you to seek him is hard. There are times where I've tried to look for her and I realize, she's in the mountains. She's set aside 3 days. She's gone to, she didn't tell you people on the gram. She's gone to isolation. Like Moses on the mountain. Then she comes back with 10 commandments and she lets me know what's happening. I know her ways. I must unleash them here. But we have another question here, Just. There's another one.
So, General, I hear that you say you want people to eat your bread and feel love. So, one of the things that you must do, a vision must be communicated. Okay? The only reason people followed the vision of the Association of African Startups, and the only reason most of you will follow the African Dream Vision, is because I will consistently keep emphasizing it. Every opportunity I get, I will keep emphasizing it. A vision is given so that you can run with it. So, General, when you want people to feel love, your content will begin to speak on love. So, typical example, right? Your content normally will be that you put bread and say banana bread, order. But switch your content and begin to say, hi guys, so yesterday I woke up and I just felt sadness all through the day. And I didn't understand why. I tried to pray, I tried to do different things, but it just wasn't working. But I figured that if I could just settle my heart and take a bite or two and reminisce on the good God feels for me. You are saying this in a video content, of course, with your banana bread by the side, right? Yeah. I say, so guys, honestly, on this day, this is what I did. And I just felt a rush of love all over my body, or my body, my body, and it just made me relax. And so next time you truly are going through a rush or an emotion, take time to relax and just reminisce on the things that God has done for you or has been good in your life. Feel that gratitude and take a bite or two of General banana bread and just go and rest. Everything will be fine. So your content, you are deliberately telling people what you want them to feel. Let me tell you the way human beings are. It's not Africans, it's human beings. Human beings believe what you want them to believe. So the vision God places in your heart, like you just said, you want people to feel loved. You can only make them feel loved if you keep telling them you want them to feel loved, or you want them to be you love them. You have to keep telling it. You have to keep telling them. That's why God in the entire Bible did not cease from telling us everything He feels for us here. He wants us to keep reading it to be reaffirmed that He loves us. That's why He gave you the Holy Spirit that will keep reminding you, hey, I love you. Right? In that similitude, you want people to feel love in your banana bread. Keep saying it through your stories, through your memes, through your reels, through your content, everything. Be bombarding them with love. And then when they order your bread, put a touch of love, a handwritten note. Dear Just eBay, I cannot thank you enough for finding me worthy to taste my banana bread. Guess what? Because you ordered, I took my time to bake it with love so that once it enters into your tummy, you will feel rest, you will feel pleasure, you will feel satisfaction. I genuinely love you from the depth of my heart. God bless you. Handwritten notes. You do that. Customer one reads this like, which one is
Mm.
thoughtfulness in that? Guess what? They will automatically smile. And it has registered in their subconscious that this person loves me. Because it takes a lot of effort to write.
Yeah.
And guess what? Before you know it, it will be spreading like a hurricane. This brand loves, this brand loves, this brand loves. Before you know it, to become a household name. That's how
Yeah.
visions are imprinted on the hearts of people. The same way Martin Luther King will always say, I have a dream, I have a dream. He was saying it every time before it became a thing. So you, my darling Generola, you say it every time until it becomes the thing that you want your customers to truly feel when they buy your products and services. And no, this is not just restricted to just Generola. For everybody who wants to drive their vision home, as long as you have found it, you keep reiterating it through everything that you do, especially with your content since we're in a digital era, right? Somebody says, I want to go into online food items, but I want to know how I can do things differently. And I think her name is Unique Joy Foods. May I ask you, Unique Joy Foods? I can almost tell that you're going into that business because you feel like you found an opportunity to make money. And you see, guys, I want us to have a very honest conversation with ourselves. If you don't settle that internally, it will show externally. Well, because I'm a very human beings generally are emotional bias, whether you like it or not. We are all emotional bias. There's not one person that makes there's just very few people, the rich of the rich, there are very few of them make decisions out of logic. Most people are emotional bias. So if you build a business on the strength of what you want to get, your customers will know. They will buy for you because they need it. But if they had to choose, they won't choose you. Let me say it again. They will buy from you because they need it, but if they had to choose, they won't choose you. Brand loyalty. And brand loyalty is what keeps a customer, a business in business. So Unique Foods, you're going to go back and ask yourself, why did I actually start? Why do I want to start this online business? Is it because I have noticed that working women are having a lot of broken homes? And because of that, you want to be able to help them sort out family needs so that you are repairing marriages rather than allowing a lot of marriages break. Now I'm just giving you ideas that are coming to my head. I don't know about you. You're going to sit down and say, why did I decide to start this thing? Yes. And once you identify why you decided to start it, a lot of times it will bring you into that place where God is saying, this is what I truly want you to solve here. Or is it because you want to end or reduce the wastage between the manufacturer in the farm and the city? You know that thing they call value chain distribution in agriculture. Is it because you are trying to bridge that gap so that the farmer who is spending so much energy in the farm and not making a lot of money, and the person who is in the city that is spending 100 times more money than they should be spending? Is it because you want to bridge that gap? So you find a farmer who has everything, right? And then you position so that you help the person who is in the city to not spend as much. If you're in Nigeria, the cost of Gary in the city may be 1,002, but if you are buying from inside the market, it's probably just 400 naira. So it's like almost 3 times the price in the city. So somebody in the city is paying for the value chain distribution problem. And so if you're going into that business because you have seen such a gap, what you will now do is you position yourself to bridge that gap. And the thing that will begin to happen when you begin to position yourself to bridge that gap is you start to create solutions that people in that line of businesses are not creating, e.g., storage facilities. Storage facilities that are powered by solar and all of those things. Storage facilities that can help a nation when they go into farming to actually prevent them from going into farming. I'm going too high now in my head. Just calm down, right? But I'm just trying to share with you the things that can bust out from this business if you go back to why do I want to do this thing? Because the reason why you're saying, how do I stand out from everybody else, is because you haven't actually found why you're starting that business. You're doing what everybody else wants to do. That's the simple answer to your question. So go back inside. Why do you want to do it? If it's because you just think it's a good thing to do, it's not a good enough reason. You make money, but it won't last. Yes. You make money, but it will not last. Because somebody who has a visionary solution will spring up in that same marketplace and take over the entire market. When I say take over the entire market, you will make some money, like I said. But when it comes to brand loyalty, the person gets it all. So you need food, you need joy foods. Go back. Why? Who do you want to help? What do you want to solve? Identify it and then position yourself over a while consistently to become a household name in that direction. Edith, I don't know if you have anything to say. We're fast spent.
Hey, sis, me. Even me, I'm spent. I feel like I've poured my heart here. I
Yeah.
feel, when you've finished everything, that's how I'm feeling, empty, which is a good thing.
I love that. I love that. When you finish everything, I love that. I love that. Wow. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Unique Joy. I hope we answered your question. Generala, I hope we answered your question. God bless you all. We will see you this time next Thursday by the grace of God as we talk about another part of the sustainability series. Have a fantastic rest of your day. God bless you all. Edith, I love you so very much.
I love you
See you
more, sis.
later, of course, in our other room.
Okay.